This is Sensor Sauce, where we dish reviews and instruction on photography, camera gear, and photo software. Welcome back to Sensor Sauce. Today we're going to learn about creating a Darkroom Core template. In our last episode, we took a Photoshop template and created all the graphical files we're going to need to use today to create that Darkroom Core template. First, I want you to take a look at my computer, this PC information here, that the different drives we have. We have the Windows drive C, data drive D, Tom's USB E, and that's it. There is no X drive. X is an X-ray. That's because I don't have Darkroom Core open yet. When you open Darkroom Core, it creates the temporary hard drive, the X drive, as an X-ray. What we're going to do is we're going to put the files that we created, this escape prints folder right here. We want to drag and drop that onto the X drive in the templates folder that's there when you have Darkroom Core open. Darkroom Core creates that folder. Let me move everything over here so you can see all of Darkroom Core first. And that X drive. Let me resize this down just a little bit so you can see everything I'm working on here. All right, now we can see all of Darkroom Core's software there, and now we see we have this X drive. So I'm going to click on the X drive. This is all the working files from Darkroom Core, and as you can see, there's all these kind of temporary files. These are images that I have currently, folders in Darkroom Core that I've worked on, and it saves those folders on this X drive, saves those images on this X drive. So occasionally you need to go through all your folders that you have in Darkroom Core and clean it out, because eventually it'll bog down the software. So I've got a ton of stuff there, but I'm going to scroll all the way down here to where it shows templates. And these are all the templates that I have created in Darkroom Core, 181. That's a lot of templates. So we're going to add one more to that. So let me drag and drop. Let's go to the USB I have, because there's my escape prints folder. I'm going to drag and drop that right over here into the X drive. Boom, it's all done. Those are there now. Now I can create my new template. So to create a template, after you got your folder there on the X drive, you need to go to the Setup tab at the very bottom. Now, we've already talked about the photo library. Now that's where you add images to start working on green screen stuff. I was in Photo Workshop, which is where you actually take your green screen images, put them on a background. And you'll notice when I went from library to workshop, I got another set of tabs here. And I got more controls on each side of the photo. And again, when I go from that Photo Workshop tab over to Setup tab, which is where we're going to be today, it changes stuff over here. And what I want to do is go into Templates, and then there's Borders. And if you've just bought Darkroom Core, you don't have all these folders. These are folders that I created where I put a lot of my templates. What you have probably is a couple, one of them sample borders. And let's go take a look at the green screen backgrounds or borders they give you. Here we go. Here's a couple. Do you want to use any of these with your software, your sports photos? I don't think so. And looking at these templates that was included in Darkroom Core is one reason it took me a year. Yes, I said a year to start using Darkroom Core to put my own photos on new backgrounds instead of sending them off to get done by a third-party company or using Photoshop with a Photoshop green screen plugin to do it that way. Uh, when I really learned more about Darkroom Core and learned how I could create my own backgrounds, that's when I got heavy into Darkroom Core. And what I'm going to go to is you'll probably want to create your own group right up here. So you could go to where you want to create it, say Alliance Designs is where, or you'd go to Borders, you'd go to New Group, and you'd give it a name, and then create it. I'm going to cancel out of that since I already have all the groups I want. The group I'm going to put this one in is Alliance Designs. That's where I have all my print backgrounds. And as you can see, got a lot of choices there because these are all backgrounds that I created, or I took a darkroom Photoshop template and created a darkroom template out of it. So now I got all sorts of choices for prints. So what we're going to do, once we click onto this template background, this template group, you notice you got more things over here. These weren't here a minute ago when we were just like in templates. There was nothing over here on the right hand side. But once we opened up the borders and then picked a group, Alliance Designs, now we got options over here on the Darkroom Core software. So what I'm going to do is go over here to the pencil where it says New. Click that, you get this little thing to open, and it's border properties that you need to fill out under description there. You're going to give it a name. That will be the name of the background when you're done with it. Just want to make sure I have this name correctly. Escape Prints is what we're going to call it. So I'm going to type in Escape Prints. All right, you want to make sure it's 8 by 10, which is what I always make my print templates. You want to make sure it's either horizontal or vertical, depending on what you're doing. I'm doing prints, individual prints, so those are always going to be vertical. You want to make sure your resolution is 300 pixels per inch is what is good for an 8 by 10 print sent to the lab. And you click OK. And it opens up a blank template. And then we're going to start creating what we want that template to be. So the first thing we're going to do is the very bottom of the template. We're going to add a graphic, the background, but we're going to take it over here. And the reason we pick graphic is we're creating a graphical list. Remember, we created different color backgrounds that we would be able to use. And to put all of those backgrounds into one template, we click on graphical list. And go ahead and hit edit. Now the name for that, I'm going to make it very easy for me to look at when I'm building it. I'm just going to call this graphical list the backgrounds. All right, then I'm going to go down here to add. And I'm going to have to browse to where these are. They're on the X drive. Remember that? Okay, we want to go up more. Up again. We're going to go down to our X drive. Templates. And now remember I said it was Escape Prints. There we go. Oops, wrong one. That's Epic Prints. Let's see. Escape Prints. All right. I'm going to select all of these backgrounds, these different color backgrounds that I created. Click Open. And then just hit OK. It's going to put them all on there, but it's only going to show you one. And that's going to be the one that's going to be on top. That's the blue one. All right. Now the next layer I want to create is the part where we're going to place the green screen image. And you do that by adding photo. And it opens up this text box. And we want this to be a chroma key green screen or blue screen background. We want it floating. That way we can move it anywhere in the background we want it. We want it to auto size. Then we're going to click OK. So it gives you this little image right there. Okay. Next, we're going to create another graphic. And we're going to add the foregrounds. And again, this is going to be a graphical list. I'm going to edit this, call this the foreground. We're going to add our foreground graphics. Whoops. All right, we're going to open those. Click OK. OK. There we go. We got that little foreground image going on there. And then we're going to put some type on here. First thing I want to do is I'm going to put a team name. Okay, and this will be a text that we can change when we put the image on it. So we're going to put a text here, and we're going to create find the font we want. Let me scroll through here. See a good font. There's some down here that are sports fonts. Let's do this NFL Vikings font. That's a good sports font. Okay. I'm going to make this what the text is going to be black. But I'm going to go ahead and allow it to change the color outside of the Border Workshop. So we could actually change it when we're building photos. I'm going to call this team name color. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put percent team percent. By putting those percents on there, that's going to allow me to change the team name on the fly as we add photos to the background. And I'll show you how that's done when we actually start calling in images into this template. So I'm going to click OK. I'm going to bring it down here. I'm going to make some changes to it. That's not big enough for me, and it's too dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the opacity down to 30%. I'm going to get rid of the drop shadow, but I'm going to add an outline, and I'm going to also make this so you can change the color of that outline on the fly. And I want to make this 100, let's say 90. So now I've got to make this bigger. I want to make that outline thicker, so I'm going to go down here. Let's see, outline size is 3. Let's make that, I don't know, let's make it 8. Let's also go down a little bit. Let's make this 15%. All right, kind of like the way that looks. So because it's only 15%, you're going to be able to see some stuff through there. I like that. I like that outline. So that's good. I'll leave that right here. I'm going to add one more set of text. I want this to be Bank Gothic and about about 30 pick, 30 there. I want it to be Bank Gothic. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this the year. You could do league, or anything you want to put there. By doing the word year, Darkroom Core is going to automatically put in the year, the current year. I'm not going to have to change that. See how that did that? 2019. So what I really want to do, though, is I want to make it different. I want to make this 100%. I want to get rid of the outline. All right. All right, now I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. As you can see now, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different layers. 2 of them came from our Photoshop template. 3 are layers that were created here in Darkroom Core. 2 layers for our text, 1 layer for a photo, or all here in Darkroom Core. And then in Photoshop, we have the background layer, we have the foreground layer. So I'm going to save this as a new border. We want to put this in the correct folder, Escape, Prints. I'm going to save it there. Now, you'll see that now little thumbnail shows up as one of my available templates. So now I can go back over to Photo Workshop. I'm going to turn off the template I've got on this right now. I'm going to go change. I'm going to go find my border that I just created. Right here, Escape Prints. Click on it. It's asking me what word do I want to put as my team. Let's call this one Eagles, which is the name of this team. Click OK. Boom. There he is. Now in Darkroom, you can resize him simply by scrolling on your mouse. Okay. Now remember, when I was building this, I was saying how in Darkroom Core, it will automatically crop images to the correct size, the correct width for any print you want to do. And so what I can do now is I can say, okay, if I print a 5x7, is his arm or the ball over here going to get cropped? Well, it's easy to find out. I'm going to go change the aspect ratio to 5x7. Yes, his hand is a little too tight. I can take it down just a little bit, maybe a couple of clicks on my wheel, and that looks great now. I don't have to worry about him getting cropped when I print this. So I'm going to go back to my 8x10, to auto, and there it is. But here, let me show you the value of what we just created. Right here's my graphical list little box where I can change the backgrounds. But say it's not showing up for you. If you hit Alt-E, or just go up here to Borders, and let's see, we're going to, no, let's see, where would that show up at? No. Okay, in this drop-down list here, you go down to Borders, not and you go to Edit Border, and then over here to Graphical List, Alt-E, to open up that. Now this is the power of those graphical lists. So there's my blue background. I click either direction, either arrow on this. There's my red background. There's my purple background. There's my orange background. There's my green background. There's my blue background again. Any one of those is going to work. Okay, now let's go to the foreground that we have. All right. There's my foreground off. So we decided we didn't we wanted to get rid of the text and everything, and we just wanted him from the foreground. Sometimes that's good to use if you're printing up something for, say, to use, print out or save a JPEG to use in your magazine cover. You don't want that, all that foreground stuff. So there's foreground off. And I'm not sure why I have two foregrounds, but I got two different foregrounds. You could theoretically have a color on each of these bottom fogs, a blue color to go with this one, a red color, a green color, a yellow color, all the different colors you have your foregrounds. I kind of just like to stick with white or gray as my fog or whatever at the bottom. But there you have it. That's what we have. That shows the power of graphical lists. So whenever you build a template, almost always create graphical lists, especially on the background, because you can take one template and create 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, however many different colors you want. Like some of my large soccer leagues have girls teams that wear pink. So I might want to have a pink background if they're like mainly white with pink highlights. The pink background would work well. Or if, sometimes they have maroon, sometimes they have, many different colors. The more colors you can put on your graphical list, the more options you have, the more customized it looks for parents. But remember, I also made it to where we could change the colors on the font. So I'm going to edit the border. I'm going to edit border colors. All right, so outline color. The outline I put around eagles. Say I want to take it, I want to make it the same red we have in his uniform. So I take that little dropper, bring it up to his uniform, boom, there we go. Say I wanted to change the, oops, for some reason it didn't save the font color as something I could change, but I could go back and re-edit it and make it do that. But anyway, that's how the edit colors works as well. So you can create fonts that you can change the color of your type to match uniforms. Or I could make that outline color match the blue we have up here in the corner. That looks good too. I almost like that better than the red. But anyway, you can pick anything in the template to match. Looks great, and it makes it more custom. So anyway, graphical lists are a great way to make your templates customized to your team. And once you do this, you want to save this as a new photo, make it editable. Now the power of Photoshop Darkroom is, okay, I've already got the Eagles name in there, I already got in there. So instead of putting going through each image and going and finding the template and adding that, yada, 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 I can take the next photo, drag it and drop it into this template. Boom. Now I just got to make him the right size. Boom. And see how that font is got some transparency to it so you can see him behind it, and he also fades all the way out because of that foreground. And I really just like the way you can customize backgrounds by using graphical um, lists and foregrounds. So anyway, that's how you create a Darkroom Core template from a Photoshop template. You go into Setup and create it there, and you should be ready to go and start adding as many templates as I added to my Darkroom Core. If you've already got a bunch of Photoshop templates and you just start creating your print templates, your banner templates, and your banner templates. I have banner templates. Let me go grab a banner template just to show you what this would look like. Say you're doing high school banners. I'm going to change templates, and I got a photo group that are Alliance banners. And so I'm going to go choose a banner template now. I'm going to show you some of these banner templates. All right, this template has got the mascot name, the uniform number. I'm going to have to add that because this one doesn't have it. The first name and last name. What you would do is go look up, and you would have a CSV file with all the kids that need banners. And you'd go find their name, click OK to change it to their name. I'm just going to clear out of that and use the information that's already in there. Click OK. All right. Going to move over that, move over this. Going to move up this font a little bit. I'm going to make him, I'm going to use my mouse to scroll him up bigger until, boom, he's right here. This Panthers is getting cut off, so I maybe want to resize this. I just double click on it. It's at 400 points right now, so let's take it down to 200. Whoops, where'd it go? It was over there. 200 is too small. Let's take it back up. 300. Let's bring it down here maybe. Bring him up here. And he's fairly small, so a high school kid would have longer legs, and you wouldn't see his feet there. So you could do something like this, something like that, and you would have your banner ready to output to digital. So I would go to right up here, digital output, place order, and it would create a JPEG of this banner ready to send to have a banner created. And I didn't have to enter any type. I just had to go find his name and everything on the CSV file. And that's the when you create templates and you create all these different type fields, I always put the first name with a header in the CSV file as first. The last name in the CSV file is last. The uniform number, I always have that header for that is just the numeral 1. It's because I know it's a number, and that way when I'm creating it, it doesn't, I don't have uniform number trying to put up, I just put 1. And you remember you got to put your percent signs on either side of that. So it gives me a good idea of what size it is and where it is with just the number 1 and a couple of percent signs. So you put all your type on there, but as I showed you, once you start creating the banner, you create those type things. You want to make that movable too, anywhere in the banner. You don't want it fixed. You want to be able to move it, resize it, yada yada yada. You want to be able to make some changes so you can make it look great once you've got a player on there. Anyway, I hope that helps. How you can create templates from Darkroom Core templates, from Photoshop templates. And if you're still having any problems, maybe read the story, the text that's underneath the video on our Sensor Sauce page. It'll have all the information word for word if you couldn't follow along. Or if you are not very good at computers and you have some Photoshop templates, you want to convert it to a Darkroom template, message me on Sensor Sauce and I can convert those for you for the low cost of $25 each if that's something that you just want done and you don't want to learn how to do it yourself. Anyway, thanks for watching. Check back with us again for another episode of Sensor Sauce. Take care.